The rain that had continued since last night is finally easing. Beyond the wet road, the eastern sky is slowly beginning to turn blue. We had planned today around the weather improving, whether it will unfold as expected or once again be shaped by the elements. This low-lying area seems to gather water easily. Small puddles appear along the roadside, here and there. And then, farther along, they no longer feel like puddles at all, but spread into a vast, silent mirror of water. Stopped, almost without thinking, at Síðu. A graceful house and a waterfall as if painted into the landscape. This is not scenery arranged for visitors, but something that simply exists here, within the life that continues in this place. The houses here are likely part of a working farm. I have heard that the southern region is blessed with light in summer, and that water is abundant. It feels only natural that sheep are raised on these grasslands. This is Síðu Waterfall. I hadn't planned to stop here, but something made me pull over. Looking upstream, there are no mountains in sight. The river disappears a few hundred meters ahead, flowing over gently rising land. And yet, here, a large volume of water is moving. It feels as if a magician has suddenly made water appear out of nowhere. I've heard that on this land, water doesn't always flow visibly on the surface. Sometimes it quietly moves through the lava beneath. What you can see might be only a part of the full story of the river. The glacier right in front of us is pressed into a big S shape. I imagine the ice has been crushed and broken apart along that flow for who knows how long. But here, there's no sound at all. Even the wind seems astonishingly quiet. I remember a book I once read. It described ice covering a great river all winter, and then in spring, it would break apart with a tremendous roar. I've always wondered what that would sound like. Maybe this ice, right here in this very place, is going through the same passage of time. Inside the shop, we found some chocolate. Designed for visitors, of course. But the packages are filled with images of Icelandic nature. They are not detailed, not realistic, just carefully reduced to their character. That restraint makes them quietly beautiful. glacier comes right up to where we're standing. The ice catches the light, contrasting sharply with the dark rock beneath it. Even so, the lake in front of the glacier isn't clear. The ice that has flowed here along the way must have picked up sand and gravel, giving the water a pale brown tint. Mixed with the smooth-edged ice, the scene somehow feels gentle, almost calm. Most of the ice breaks apart here, shattering into small pieces that slowly disappear. Every now and then, a large chunk makes it through, becoming the star of someone's photo. Ice that has existed for 20,000 years might not have expected this to be its final stop. We spent a little while touching and watching it, and then moved on to our next destination. The ice here has floated down from the glacier lake behind us. Unlike Fjallarlón, the water is clear, and even the same ice looks completely different in this light. Ice is scattered over the black sand, with the blue sky and sea around. I can see why they call this Diamond Beach. If you look closely, it's not just the ice that has been shaped by time and waves. The small, round black stones on the shore have also been smoothed, marking time alongside the ice. We've arrived at Jökulsárlón, the starting point for the ice cave tour. Along the lakeshore, people are gathered waiting for their tours to begin. It's hard to believe such a large lake was formed only after 1930. Apparently the glacier had retreated and the seawater flowed in to create it. The water is up to 200 meters deep, meaning the glacier carved down well below sea level. The ice floating on the lake is even bigger than I expected, and I realize it must have come from a glacier with serious thickness. I can't see where the glacier ends from here, and not being able to see it only makes my imagination run wilder. Until the tour starts, I watch people taking photos and selfies, and take a moment to get used to the air and atmosphere of this place. The tour is finally starting. Once we're on the van, I feel a little restless with excitement about what's coming next. It's that childlike feeling that pops up when you're just following someone instead of using your own feet. I guess no matter how old you get, that part of you never really goes away. Looking out the windows at Jökulsárlón, it feels like I'm peeking into a world slightly apart from reality. The colour of the lake, the shadows on the ice, the light hitting the distant mountains. Everything is soft and muted, like a pastel painting. Eventually the van leaves the paved road and bumps slowly along the rough terrain. I'm guessing we're already on the glacier itself, though the surface is covered with gravel and looks almost like solid ground. I've heard that glaciers grow by scraping up rocks and sand as they move. By October, after the summer melt, that surface turns into this blanket of dark gravel. So, for this tour, I'm not expecting to see brilliant blue ice. It's not the goal. We've reached the cave. To get inside, we have to cross a small stream. The stones laid out as stepping points are slipperier than I expected, so I carefully make my way across, trying not to get soaked. This cave is basically an old drainage channel for meltwater from spring and summer, like a leftover passage carved by the glacier. The tiny stream at my feet is all that remains of that flow. Inside, it's bigger than I imagined, and the water disappears into the dark depths. This is as far as we can go, but just seeing this much carved out space at the entrance makes me think there must be similar vast chambers extending even further, out of sight. My curiosity pulls me toward those unseen depths as we quietly retrace our steps back. We didn't see any blue ice, but the evening light was waiting for us instead. The gravel wasteland and scattered puddles are reflecting the sky, turning red. Before I knew it, this whole experience had transformed into a walk through the sunset.